So, let's talk about something we all kind of know but don't always admit out loud. Social media has a hold on us. A real one. Not just a casual habit like grabbing an extra snack or checking the weather for no reason, but a deep, automatic, brain-level connection that makes us reach for our phones before we're even fully awake. And if you've ever caught yourself scrolling through TikTok when you only meant to check one notification, or wondering how the entire night disappeared, even though you just opened Instagram for a second, then yeah, you've felt that pull. But why does this happen? Why do normal, reasonable people with jobs, families, hobbies, plans, get sucked into apps that they know are wasting their time? Why do we keep scrolling even when we're bored of scrolling? Why does social media become so sticky, so addictive, so strangely important? That's what we're diving into today. And don't worry, this isn't one of those lectures where someone tells you to just use your phone less. This is more like a friendly deep dive, a real talk about what's going on inside our minds, our brains, our culture, and even our society, that makes social media not just appealing, but, for millions of people, genuinely addictive. And I'm breaking it into sections so it flows like a conversation. Soft transitions, no hard academic walls, just one long narrative that makes sense from start to finish. Let's start inside your head, not metaphorically like think positive, but literally, biologically. Your brain is an amazing machine, but it's also incredibly predictable. It loves patterns, dopamine, surprises, rewards, and anything that makes you feel just a tiny bit good. And social media? It was practically engineered to push those buttons. Every notification is a little dopamine hit. Every like is a micro reward. Every comment is a tiny spark that says, hey, someone saw me. And even if you don't think you care about likes or followers, your brain cares. It reacts. It lights up. It says, ooh, that felt nice. But here's the trick. The reward isn't consistent. Sometimes your post blows up. Sometimes it gets crickets. Sometimes someone unexpected messages you. Sometimes the algorithm shows you something insanely entertaining for no reason. It's the unpredictability that gets you, the same psychological loop that makes slot machines addictive. You don't know when something exciting is coming, so you keep checking, just in case. This is called variable reward reinforcement, and it's one of the strongest forms of conditioning humans respond to. And guess what? Social media uses it nonstop. Then there's the scroll, the endless scroll. You know how when you're watching a show and the episode ends and you think, okay, I should go do something productive now, but then the next episode autoplays? Same energy, except with social media, the next episode never ends. There is always another video, another meme, another tweet, another story, another everything. And your brain is like, well, since it's right here, and it takes literally zero effort, I mean, one more scroll won't hurt. But one scroll is never one scroll. Because every time you do it, you're telling your brain that scrolling is worth your time. And your brain is like, say no more, fam, I'm in. It becomes a loop. Boredom, scroll, reward, repeat. Before you know it, your thumb and the screen are in a committed relationship. Let's be real for a second. Humans care what other people think. Even if you're the chillest, most independent person alive, you still feel a little spark when someone compliments you, or a little sting when someone ignores you. It's human. It's normal. Social media amplifies this effect. Posts become little performances. Stories become mini status updates. Even the stuff you don't consciously think about, like picking the best photo or wording a caption just right, taps into your social instincts. And the feedback loop is fast. You don't have to wait until next week's hangout to know if people liked your joke or your outfit or your dog. You find out instantly. That instant social feedback is addictive, not necessarily because of ego, but because of connection. Humans are wired to connect. It's how we survived as a species. And when an app gives you even the illusion of constant connection, your brain holds onto it tightly. Let's jump into something a little less brain chemical and a little more cultural. Boredom. Remember when being bored was just normal? When you had to wait in line and just stand there? When car rides meant staring out the window? When the only entertainment in a doctor's office was a stack of magazines? Those days are gone. Now your phone is a portable boredom destroyer, a pocket universe of entertainment, a tiny portal to billions of videos, memes, ideas, arguments, and creators. And here's the problem. Our brains have gotten used to constant stimulation. Not because we're weak or lazy, but because we've adapted. When your mind gets a steady stream of excitement, silence starts to feel uncomfortable. Stillness feels weird. Having nothing to do feels wrong. So what do? We reach for the phone. Not always because we want to, but because being bored feels worse. And when stopping feels uncomfortable, that's one of the signs of addiction. Here's something wild. Your social media feed isn't random. It's not even personalized. It's predictive. Algorithms don't just show you things you liked. They show you things they think you're going to like. And they're shockingly good at guessing. Pausing just a little longer on a video sends a signal. Watching a clip twice sends another. Liking something, commenting, sharing, swiping away. It all builds a digital map of your personality. And the algorithm uses that map to keep you hooked. If you watch one video about cooking, suddenly you get 15. If you laugh at one comedy skit, boom, your whole feed is jokes. If you linger on relationship content, the algorithm is like, say no more, let me change your entire worldview. It feels magical, but it's strategic, and it works. The more the app learns about you, the harder it becomes to stop using it. Another huge reason people get addicted: comparison. Not in a jealous, dramatic way, more like a constant low hum in the background. You see other people's highlights, achievements, vacations, aesthetics, bodies, friendships, houses, lifestyles. Even if you know it's curated and filtered, your brain doesn't fully process that. Your brain goes, look at all these people living amazing lives. Maybe I should check a bit more. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I could be doing more. And suddenly, scrolling becomes not just entertainment, but a way to measure yourself. The problem? No one can win that game, because you're comparing your full life, flaws and all, to someone else's best 5 seconds. But you keep scrolling anyway, hoping the next post will make you feel better. Spoiler, it usually doesn't. FOMO isn't just a trendy term. It's a real psychological phenomenon. Humans hate being left out. In ancient times, being left out literally meant danger, so our brains still treat being excluded as a threat. Social media triggers that constantly. You see people hanging out without you. You see events you didn't know about. You see trends moving faster than you can keep up. You see news breaking every 10 minutes. And suddenly, you feel like you have to check in, just to stay in the loop. You become emotionally tethered to the feed. For a lot of people, social media isn't just a distraction. It's a place to build identity. You get to choose what you post, how you present yourself, what parts of your life you highlight. You can reinvent yourself online in ways that feel impossible offline. You can be funnier, more confident, more stylish, more bold, more social. And when the digital version of you starts to feel more appealing than the real-world version, logging off becomes harder. It's not just scrolling. It's protecting your new identity. Now here's a painful truth. Many people become addicted to social media because they feel lonely. And ironically, the more addicted they get, the lonelier they often become. Online interaction feels like connection, but it doesn't fully replace real human contact. It's like eating fast food. It fills you temporarily, but it doesn't nourish you. But when you're lonely, even fake connection feels better than none. So you go back again, and again. And the apps know this. They were built to fill emotional gaps. At some point, the addiction stops being about enjoyment and starts being about habit. You open apps without thinking. You check notifications as a reflex. You scroll when you're anxious, tired, stressed, bored, hungry, procrastinating, or avoiding something. Social media becomes the default. And when something becomes a default, it becomes very hard to break away. And finally, the part nobody likes to talk about. Social media addiction isn't an accident. These platforms make money from your attention. The longer you stay, the more ads you see. The more ads you see, the more money they make. So of course, they're designed to keep you hooked. Infinite scroll wasn't invented because it's convenient. It was invented because it keeps you scrolling. Notifications weren't designed because they're helpful. They were designed to pull you back. Algorithms weren't created to entertain you. They were created to hold you hostage. Once you understand that business model, social media addiction suddenly makes a lot more sense. So why do people become addicted? Because social media is the perfect storm. It hits the brain. It hits the emotions. It hits the culture. It hits the boredom. It hits the insecurities. It hits the habits. It hits the loneliness. It's a digital playground built to capture human psychology from every angle. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling without thinking or feeling like you can't put your phone down, remember, it's not about willpower. It's not because you're weak. It's not because you lack discipline. It's because these apps were designed by some of the smartest people in the world to do exactly that. And recognizing the game is the first step in taking back control.